One of the reasons that we all go on cruise vacations is to escape from the hustle and the bustle, the stresses of everyday life. And we want a cruise experience that's comfortable. Let's talk about how to be comfortable on a cruise ship. Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido, Loca. Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're brand new here, consider subscribing with the notification bell on. We'll get you all the latest info on cruise ships, cruise tips, cruise news, and cruise vlogs. We are moving through our 31 cruise tips in 31 days on our count up to our cruise on the Carnival Breeze. We invite you to participate in this series. I'm going to give some tips, invite you to give your tips on the same subject. For each of these tips, we're going to pick a comment, pin it to the top of the comments, and at the end of the 31 days, we're going to do a drawing and give out a prize pack from our Carnival Breeze cruise. Today's tip is all about being comfortable. Like I said in the introduction, you go on a cruise because you don't want to have stress. You want to escape the hustle and bustle. And so there's a few things that you can do during the cruise process to stay comfortable. We're going to look at it in three ways: things that you can do before your cruise, things that you can do during your cruise, and things that you can do as you're getting off your cruise to stay the most comfortable. Okay, here's a few things that you can do before you cruise to make sure that you are comfortable when you go cruising. The first one and the most key is research. The more information you have about your cruise, the more comfortable you're going to be on your cruise. So it's super easy to book a cruise, right? You just go on a website or you call somebody, you give them your credit card information, and boom, you got a cruise booked. You're going on this ship, you're going to these ports, and if you pay it all off and you wait it out long enough, that's exactly what you'll do. But what you'll find is if you don't do any research in advance, it could be a little scary getting on the cruise ship for the first time. It could be a little unsettling to go to a cruise port for the first time. Fortunately, there is a wealth of information out there. I'm going to point you first to the cruise line website. A lot of times we field questions about documentation, about cruise ship policies, and we do our best to answer those questions with the information that we have. But what I always tell people is that you have to go to the source. If you have a cruise line specific question, if you have a documentation question, a food allergy question, anything that really has to do with what's going to happen to you on the cruise ship, you've got to check with that specific cruise line. And also check your email on a regular basis. There's been several stories of people who did not check the email that they gave the cruise line and they missed really important information. There was a couple that got kicked off of a cruise ship on their way to China because they did not read their email, they did not get the proper documentation, and they had to get put off in some foreign land just because they didn't read some email. So make sure that you do your research. Specifically check the cruise line's website to get the information that you need. Read your email. And then beyond that, there's a lot of other great resources on the internet. We recommend YouTube videos if you want to know about things that people like us have gone on. There's a lot of people out there making great content that have had a wide variety of experiences. So you can see ships, you can see ports, those kind of things. And a lot of great bloggers out there, a lot of great resources. You can use the internet. But again, everything that you find out, the best thing to do is verify if it's information that's pertinent to your actual cruise by going and, you can always call the customer service line of the cruise ship and always check the policies on the cruise ship website. There's a few other things that you can do to be comfortable before you go on a cruise. Make sure you paid your bills, any bills that might be due the week that you're gone. Make sure that you've secured your travel insurance. Make sure that your home insurance or your renter's insurance is up to date in case anything happens while you're gone. Make sure you contact your financial institutions and make sure that you let somebody know who's not on the cruise with you exactly what your plans are in case there's any issue and you need some help stateside. And here's one more before we actually get on the ship. Before you leave and before you pack your clothes, try them on, because a big part of whether you're going to be comfortable on the cruise ship is whether your clothes fit well. Go ahead and realize that you're probably going to eat more than you do on land. So if you have some clothes packed that are tight, they could get tighter as the week goes on. So make sure that your wardrobe's comfortable. Make sure that you got comfortable shoes packed. And that's going to help you out when you get on the cruise ship. And then finally, make sure your documentation's good. That's one of the most stressful things. When you get to the cruise port, they're going to check your documentation, they're going to check your luggage, and you've got to get through that first security hurdle to actually get on the cruise ship. So you want to do anything that you can to minimize the stress at those levels. Doing some of that prep work in advance is going to leave you a lot less concerned when you get on the cruise ship. Here's a couple tips of things that you can do to be more comfortable on the cruise ship. The first thing that I like to do that makes me more comfortable on the cruise ship is to unpack. The idea of digging through my luggage on a daily basis to try to find my clothes is stressful to me. Wear comfortable clothes. Make sure that you feel comfortable in what you have on. You're really there for yourself. You don't have to impress anybody. So make sure that you're wearing comfortable clothes and comfortable shoes. You're going to do a lot of walking on the cruise ship and a lot of walking at port. So make sure that you've got the right shoes that are going to keep your feet feeling good. And sometimes you got to choose that utility over fashion. So just be comfortable on the cruise ship. Another big thing to do with being comfortable on the cruise ship is you have to set your expectations. Here's the reality check. You're going to run into rude people on the cruise ship. You will probably run into crew members that you don't feel have given you the attention that you deserve. And sometimes, getting all these things going on, you might even have some tension with your shipmates. So you got to take all that with a grain of salt, and you have to know that going in. If you go in with a plan and you're determined to not let rude people people that cut in front of you at the buffet line, that almost run you over trying to get out of the elevator, maybe people that save your favorite pool chair, take your spot at the show, it's going to happen. But it just depends how you approach that, whether you're going to let some stranger ruin your good time. That is completely up to you. The same thing with the crew. Everybody is under a lot of pressure to provide good service, and sometimes the crew members are going to do great, sometimes they're not, but more times than not they're going to do great. And so I think you also have to give them some leeway and just realize that they're people too, trying to do their job. Nothing's ever resolved really by being a jerk. So I think through most problems you can get it worked out by being a nice person. And it's going to make you feel better if you don't have to, jump into jerk mode. And finally, with your shipmates, just realize that these are the people that you're living life with, and maybe that is one of the pressures you brought from home with you, whatever relationships that you have. But at the same time, you have to realize that it's their vacation, it's your vacation. Try to be accommodating with them on things that they want to do. On a cruise ship, you have to be able to say, look, we're going to not do the same thing, because people have different interests. You might cruise with family that wants to do one thing. You might cruise with a spouse that wants to do one thing that doesn't line up with you. Agree on the things that you do want to do together, and then give each other the leeway to do the things separately. And don't be worried about it. It's all good. That's that cruise life. There's a lot of options for a lot of people. And this is the last tip I'll give on being comfortable on the cruise ship. You don't want to be overwhelmed with things to do, but you don't want to feel like you've missed out on anything. A nice way to balance that out is to take a little time each morning and look through the schedule of activities, maybe highlight a few things that you want to do, maybe put one or two things that you don't definitely want to miss, and just target those things. Don't go crazy. Don't say I have to do 15 things or I'm going to be upset. Pick one or two key things that you have to do. Maybe have 8 things that you'd like to do, and then give yourself the leeway to either do them or not do them. The only thing is you just don't want to miss out on anything, right? And so at least if you have it in your mind that you could do them, then it's a lot more comfortable than if you get to the next day and you look at the paper and go, oh, I wish I would have went to that guacamole making class. So do a little prep each day, and it's going to be more comfortable for you. And then just a couple tips for getting off the ship. Give yourself plenty of time to pack up the night before, the day before. There's nothing more stressful than time running out. If you're going to leave your suitcase outside your room for the cruise line to pick up and you have a deadline for that and you wait till the last minute, that could be a little stressful. So maybe start packing the day before or early morning, or if you're somebody that's going to carry your own luggage off, just get it done in advance. Leave yourself the night open to continue to enjoy your cruise. It's going to make you wake up in a more positive mood. And then on disembarkation day, try not to put too many time constraints on yourself. You never know what's going to happen. The ship might be delayed getting into port. So if you've booked like a flight that's early, you could have some stress if something goes wrong with the timing of that. So I would suggest book a later flight. If you're driving somewhere, make sure you don't have to be anywhere the day that you get off of the cruise ship. I think it's going to make it a lot less stressful to you. And do something the night before to just, celebrate the cruise. Go have that special pizza and chocolate milk. That's what Jenny and I like to do. Some sort of last get together to say, wow, this was a great cruise, and to reflect on how cool it was that we got to do it. Just build yourself in some sort of little ritual of gratitude that gives you a moment to be thankful for what you just encountered, and then give yourself plenty of time to get to where you have to go the next day. I think it's going to make it easier for you, a little less stressful. The question for the comments is this: what do you do to be more comfortable on the cruise? What do you do before the cruise? What do you do on the cruise? What do you do to close out your cruise? The main goal here is to be as chill as possible, to enjoy your cruise vacation. Leave your comments below, leave your tips below, and let's continue the conversation. How do you stay chill on the cruise ship? Thanks so much for stopping by. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, consider subscribing, follow all of our social media. And this is Tony from Lido, Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.